bit about. This is the story of a nation that is defined by, well, almost unimaginable wealth, a very powerful monarch who's been around for a long time, and some very conservative laws. I mean, the amount of money we're talking about here is just, it's hard to wrap your head around. The Sultan's personal fortune is estimated to be around $30 billion, thanks to the country's huge oil and gas reserves. And get this, after Queen Elizabeth II passed away, he actually became the world's longest reigning living monarch. He's been on the throne since 1967.
And that wealth, oh, it is definitely on display. The Sultan's palace has, count 'em, 1,788 rooms. That officially makes it the largest residential palace on the entire planet. To put that in perspective, it's about 3 times the size of the Palace of Versailles. It's this massive, powerful symbol of the monarchy's absolute power.
But all that money doesn't just stay at the top. It actually funds this kind of incredible deal for its citizens. In Brunei, education is free, healthcare is free, there's no income tax, and gas is so cheap, so heavily subsidized, that it's often cheaper than a bottle of water. You can see how this creates a really stable and, for a lot of people, a very comfortable life. But, and this is a big but, that stability exists alongside a legal system that's drawn some serious international criticism. After Brunei got its independence from Britain back in '84, the country started moving towards a much stricter version of Islamic law. This all led to the full implementation of the Sharia Penal Code in 2019, which includes some incredibly harsh punishments that sparked global boycotts and a ton of condemnation. Okay, so that's one side of the coin. Now let's flip it completely. Let's move away from the headlines and the laws and get into the deeply personal human experiences that so many visitors have. This is the unofficial story of Brunei, and trust me, it could not be more different. So, to really put this reputation for kindness to the ultimate test, the creators from the channel Yes Theory tried something pretty wild. They got dropped in the middle of rural Brunei with absolutely nothing. No food, no money, no hotel. The mission? Survive for 72 hours and make their way back to the capital city, relying 100% on the kindness of strangers. You can imagine, after walking for hours down this hot, empty road, not seeing a single soul, things were probably starting to look a little bleak. But then, a car pulls over. Inside are 2 brothers, and fun fact, they're both named Alan. And they didn't just offer them a ride, they offered them an invitation that would change everything about this trip. So they end up staying with one of the Allen's families for 3 whole days. They weren't just guests. They were fed, they were given a place to sleep, they were treated like sons, like brothers. And when it was finally time to leave, the family gave them a letter that said this. It wasn't just help, it was a genuine, full-hearted welcome into their family. So they had to ask, what's the secret? How is your family so full of love and happiness? And the answer they got was just so beautifully simple. Sharing what you have. That is the secret. It's this amazing philosophy of generosity from the ground up that's just such a powerful contrast to the country's official image of authority from the top down. And look, this wasn't just a one-time lucky thing. This kind of incredible hospitality seems to be baked right into the fabric of daily life there. It's something other travelers find out pretty quickly through the country's food, its unique culture, and its really tight-knit communities. Let's take a quick look. You can even see the 2 sides of Brunei in its food. The cuisine isn't flashy. It's all about simple, shared comfort. You've got nasi katak, which literally means knocking rice. It's this super cheap, super popular little packet of rice, fried chicken, and this amazing spicy sauce called sambal. And then there's the national dish, ambuyat, which is this starchy, kind of gooey stuff made from a sago palm. You eat it with these incredibly flavorful dips, and it's perfect for sharing. If you go to the capital, you absolutely have to see Kampong Ayer. And this isn't just a couple of houses on stilts. We are talking about the largest water village in the entire world. It's this massive community with its own schools, mosques, even fire stations, all connected by wooden walkways. About 3% of the whole country lives here. And here's something that might really surprise you. Within these communities, there's this incredible diversity. One traveler described visiting a traditional Iban longhouse that's a big communal home where he found Christian and Muslim relatives all living together, peacefully, under the same roof, celebrating each other's holidays. It really challenges that idea of Brunei as being just one thing. So, how do we make sense of this?
how do we reconcile these two completely different pictures of the same country? You've got the strict, authoritarian government on one side and this incredibly warm, welcoming society on the other. This, right here, is the heart of the Brunei paradox.
This example perfectly captures the gap between the official rules and how life is actually lived. So, for instance, alcohol is completely illegal in Brunei, but it's kind of an open secret that every weekend, tons of Bruneians just drive across the border to the Malaysian town of Miri to enjoy the light nightlife. Non-Muslims are even allowed to bring a certain amount back with them. It shows you a reality that is way more flexible than the headlines would ever let on.
And this chart here gives us a little bit of context for why that might be. Brunei has a much higher percentage of Muslims in its population, about 82%, compared to its neighbor Malaysia, which is closer to 65%. That demographic difference goes a long way in explaining why the social rules are stricter at home and why that short drive across the border can feel like entering a whole different world.
At the end of the day, for so many people who actually visit, the thing that sticks with them isn't the laws or the wealth. It's the people. As one traveler, Khalid Alameri, put it, the kindness is so powerful that it makes the country's negative reputation almost impossible to believe. The feeling he describes is one of instant friendship and just a genuine, heartfelt welcome.
Which leaves us with this one final, really important question. The story of Brunei kind of forces us to ask, how should we judge a nation? Do we define it by the laws and the actions of its government? Or do we define it by the character, the kindness, and the generosity of its people? What Brunei shows us is that the answer is almost never that simple.